Deadman Annihilation is about to be released, and this guide is the only thing you need to get ahead of the competition. Start off by spawning at the Gnome Stronghold and open your starter pack, that will give you 190 points. Do one lap of the Gnome Agility course and that will give you 9 agility, which will give it a further 40 points. Take the Spirit Tree to the Grand Exchange and then back to the Gnome Stronghold and back to the Grand Exchange, and this in total will give you additional 50 points. Unlock the Sigil of Litheness through your Deadman Skull using the shop option, attune it, and then at the end you should have 30 points. Come to your Worn Equipment tab and click on the icon here and unlock the Formidable Fighter Starter Sigil. Attune it and then bank it. Set up a bank pin by talking to the banker and going through the options for setting that up. Talk to Brugson Burson and change your respawn point to Lumbridge. Come to the northwest of the G and climb through the underwater tunnel. Then you want to take a series of fairy rings here, so we're going to start off with AIR, ALS, BIS, and then DIS. This should give you an additional 100 points. And use the fairy ring CKS to get to Canifis. Squeeze through the ornate railing over here to the northwest and come up this agility shortcut, and then come all the way back down as well. So you want to complete it, come through the ornate railing, make your way all the way back down, and that should give you an additional 40 points. Take the fairy ring to Zenaris, and then you want to run south to the agility shortcut area. Use this jutting wall shortcut, you want it to be successful, and then when you do that, you'll get 40 points. Use your Chronicle teleport and go to the Barbarian Village. We're going to be doing Stronghold of Security now. And as you're running by, you want to use your starter staff to attack these goblins whilst you're running, just for some additional magic and HP levels. When you're in the stronghold, try to see if you can use this portal to skip the first floor or the other floors. But if you can't, just come through each floor up to the 3rd floor and then gather all the cash. You should then have 10k in total at the end. Use your Chronicle to come to the Champions Guild and start the Dragon Slayer. That will give you 25 points as well. Come out and trade Draven. You want to buy 1 compost and then use that on the farming patch, and that will give you 3 farming, which is an additional 10 points. Go to Cecilia's clothes shop in South Farrock and buy a piece of silk, which will give you an additional 15 points. Come to the general store and buy a jug, and then use that jug on the fountain to get a jug of water. Talk to Benny and buy a newspaper for 50 coins. That will give you another 15 points. Come to Varrock East Bank, and then you want to buy the Consistency Sigil through your Deadman Skull. That should leave you with around 125 points. Then grab a Bronze Axe and Tinderbox from the bank. Come to the Varrock Museum and do the Natural History quiz for 27 Hunter and 27 Slayer. That will give you an additional 260 points. Then come upstairs and grab 2 XP lamps from Historian Minus. You can choose to use this on whatever skill you want above 20, but you can also hold it for later to use on prayer. But just be aware that you do lose it on death, so don't blame me if you die and lose it. Make sure you go through all the dialogue with Historian Minas. You should have above 50 kudos. Then talk to Curator Haig Halen. That will give you additional 15 points. And then talk to the information clerk and she'll give you 27 mining, which will give you 130 points as well. Run west to the emblem trader in Edgeville and talk to him about emblems, and that will give you an additional 25 points. Then speak to Oziak to continue Dragon Slayer. The options are 1, 1, 1, 1. Come to the Wildy lever and pull it to get to the wilderness. Then pull the lever again to get to Ardoon, and again to go back to the wilderness, and one more time to get back to Ardoon. That should give you 30 points in total. Drain your prayer and then check with Probita for pets. That will give you an additional 15 points. And then pray at the altar for another 15 points. Come and talk to the silk merchant. Use the options 3 and 2 to sell him silk for 60 coins. That will give you 15 points. Come to the bank and buy and attune resistance and death strikes for 200 points. You may need to bank them as well after you've attuned them. You want to start the fight arena and complete it. There is a safe spot that you do need to use, and if you're not confident doing the fight arena with low HP, go and get a few HP levels, at least 14 I would say, before you start this quest. The safe spot is behind this corpse over here. Now after completing this quest, you should have 51 attack and 34 thieving, which in total should give you 415 additional points just from that quest. Come up here and chop a log for 1 log. You need that for the Monk's Friend quest. Then go and do that quest. This will give you 33 wood cutting and 160 points. Then you want to chop and burn logs until 30 fire making, which will give you an additional 145 points. When you're getting close to 30 fire making, just run your way down to Port Hazard and burn your logs as you run, just for efficiency. You burn it, then you run, burn, and you do it again, and you can continue running like that without stopping. Come to the Port Khazar General Store and buy a Swamp Haze. Use the charter ship to come to Brimhaven, then use the boat to go to Ardoon through Captain Barnaby. Come east to Witch Haven to the fishing store and buy one small fishing net. Then you want to talk to Caroline and start the Sea Slug. When you complete this quest, you'll get 46 fishing, but whilst you're doing the quest, there is also an additional 25 points you can gain by catching a fish on the fishing platform. That's what we got this small fishing net for. So once you've completed all of that, you should have got 250 points in total. Then you want to use your Chronicle to go back to the Champions Guild and continue Dragon Slayer 1. Use the options 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, and 3 to progress this quest. Then use your home teleport to go back to Lumbridge. Whilst you're here, check your age with Hans. He might just be wandering around the castle, so just keep an eye out for him. Then come up to the first floor of the Varrock Castle and continue the Dragon Slayer quest by talking to Duke Horatio. The options are 1, 1, 1, 2, and at the end of that you should have an anti-dragon fire shield. Go back down to the south staircase and go down, never use the north staircase. Then come out of Varrock Castle. Make your way to Draenor Village, but be careful of these gel guards, they can quickly hit you, so be careful as you run past them. You can go all the way around just to avoid them entirely, and make your way to Draenor Village. Trade Diango, and you want to buy a Goblin Paint Cannon for 225 coins. At this point you're ready to kill some green dragons with some fire strikes or your starter staff. You can also buy some runes and the appropriate staff for any elemental weaknesses based on what dragon you're killing. So make sure you go use your Chronicle to go back to Varrock and buy the runes and staff that you need to do this. You need to kill between 4 and 6 dragons so that you can have in total between 8 and 12 dragon bones. And we're going to use these at the Chaos Altar. Well, the amount of bones you need is dependent on your luck, but also if you still have your XP lamps from the Varrock Museum. If you still have your lamps, you can collect 8 bones, so that's 4 dragons. If you don't have your lamps anymore, then you can use 12 bones. That should get you 43 prayer. So hold on to your dragon bones after you've got those, and we're going to be taking those towards the Chaos Altar. But there is one place we want to check out first before we get there. Make your way to the Wilderness God Wars dungeon. This is where we're going to stop off first for some points. So you want to use your Chronicle and then run northwest and make your way up through Wilderness to the Wilderness God Wars dungeon. To get to the Wilderness God Wars dungeon, come northwest of the GE and run northwest into the Wilderness to the Wilderness God Wars dungeon. Just be careful of some bandits over here as you're running past, and then enter through this dungeon here. Of course, make sure you have your dragon bones on you. You can keep them noted, because you can unnote them at the Chaos Temple in this Deadman, which was different from last. Once you get here, enter this cave. This will take you to the Wilderness God Wars dungeon, and then you want to use the shortcut which allows you to use agility, which I think is this one. It's this jutting wall. You want to make your way past this jutting wall, and that will give you an additional 25 points. But we don't want to go further, so let's come back through here and make our way to the Chaos Altar. Run northwest, just be careful of these Chaos Dwarfs and Ankus. You don't want to get hit by these because they do a lot of damage. Come to this Elder Chaos Druid and use your noted bones on him and unnote them all for a few points. And then come through the large door and use your bones on the Chaos Altar. This should hopefully get you 43 prayer, but if not, if you do still have your XP lamps on you, use them in prayer to get you that last level for 43. But you do definitely want to leave here with 43 prayer for sure. At the end of that, you don't get 43 prayer, your luck is really bad and you should just quit right now. Run south of the Chaos Altar, but stay on the west side of this. You don't want to be hit by Ankus as you're running down. When you finally make it out of the wilderness, use your Chronicle and teleport back to the Champions Guild. At this point, you should have more than enough points to unlock Eternal Belief, and this gives you unlimited prayer, which is going to be so useful. You do have 2 options here. You can go and choose to do Scorpion Catcher quest for 45 strength, or you can choose to skip that and go straight to our main portion of this plan, which is Scurrius. So grab your Goblin Paint Cannon, this is going to be your weapon that you're going to be using initially, and come to the Varrock sewers. Also bring as much food as you can. Come east, and then you want to kill Scurrius in the public instance if you still are under protection. Killing Scurrius in the normal instance shared with everyone is much faster XP rates at 42.5% additional XP in a group. You only get 20% in a private instance, and not only that, you do get nerfed instance rates. So if it's a private instance, you only get 3 times XP instead of the normal 10 times in Deadman mode. There is a 1 in 33 drop rate for the Scurrier Spine, which will be an awesome weapon to speed up some of your early training. That rate may be boosted, I'm not entirely sure, but in normal game it is 1 in 33. As and when you get Scurrier Spines, keep one for your own Bone Mace. Any additional ones you can sell to Historian Aldo for XP. He gives you 5k XP in the normal game, so that will be boosted by 10 times in the first bracket. Killing Scurrius is pretty simple. You just protect from melee, you won't drain any prayer because of the sigils that we have. And as he does these attacks, you just want to keep an eye out. If he shoots out a blue attack, that's protect mage. If he shoots out a green gas attack, he's doing a bud on you, and that means you need to protect from missiles. There it is. In a group, this should go down fairly quickly, but you might not get an MVP based on, who got here first. But the aim is you're getting tons of XP doing this anyway, and if you do get a Scurrier Spine, that is great also. Once you do have your first spine, you can choose to do a little detour here and sell any loot you have gotten so far and try and buy a rune mace from the Champions Guild for 14.4k. You can then choose to combine the rune mace and anvil with a hammer, but you do need 35 smithing for this. Alternatively, you can come to this guy, Historian Aldo, and spend 50k to do it, but you'd probably need an ult on the side to allow this to happen. But the advantage of the Ratbone Mace is it will completely trump this Goblin Paint Cannon, and it will also be better than the Dragon Scimitar or any other weapon that you can have at this level when you're training. But if you do decide to do a detour, you can do Knight Sword for 52 smithing. That will also give you an additional 255 points, which is nice. And then you can basically make your own Ratbone weaponry. You want to make your Ratbone Mace, and you can come straight back here. Just be wary of how much protection remains. You may not have any protection, but even training in the private instance might be worth it if you're trying to make a little bit of money on the side. You do get quite nerfed XP rates, so it may not be worth it from that regards, but you can do what you want at this point essentially. The aim is that you're going to be very low risk, so you can just sit here and get as high stats as you want to then go to the next bracket. You do definitely want to make sure you do have 60 attack and decent strength before the first breach. So try to aim to get some strength levels and then boost your attack to 60 and then just focus on strength. And once you're 60 attack, you do want to try and get a Dragon Scimitar. You do need 100k for this, but if you're running an ult, getting 100k should be very easy in your first hour. You just want to make sure you grab a Gree from Lumbridge and then take your 100k to the Apatol, and whilst wearing a Gree, you can then buy a Dragon Scimitar from the shop for 100k. Make sure you do all of that within protection and trade that over to your main, and your main will then be ready with a Dragon Scimitar and fairly high melee stats to then take on the first breach. If you are looking for ideas on how to make money in Deadman mode, I have released this video where I show insane Deadman money makers that you can do in Deadman mode Annihilation. So definitely check that out. Wait, before you go, please drop a like on this video to show your support, subscribe to the channel to see more Deadman content, and drop a comment down below on what your plans are for this Deadman Annihilation season.